Hey everybody, welcome back to the Toy Lines podcast. This is Ian Westhoff, back from sabbatical. With me is my friend and compadre,
Tom Romero.
the one and only. How you doing, Tom?
Good. Tired.
Tired? Yeah.
But,
yes.
That's the way things are. But
at
least we got a lot of good toy news coming up.
We got toy news. We got news. We got no news is good news. So I was actually thinking about something the other day, and so I mean, as we record this, it is 2:40 my time in New Jersey, and 11:40 by you out in California.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are actually, folks, you are listening to a scientific miracle of time travel. You are listening to me in the future, and I am talking to you in the past. And we are throwing caution to the wind, and space-time continuum be damned. Whatever Doc Brown said, which I do believe is how space travel works, we're not buying it. We are doing this. And we've been doing it. And I just realized that we're time traveling. That's what I have to say. I don't know.
Interesting theory.
That was like, if everybody else says you need a flux capacitor, say, dude, just talk to your friend in another state. Different time zone. So anyway, that was a sad attempt at humor. But Tom, I know we have some big changes coming on.
We got a new website coming.
Right. So can you tell us about that?
It goes down tomorrow, and then we're just redesigning it.
Do we know how long for the redesign or no?
Hopefully less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
It has to be done before May 1st. That's what I'm told.
Okay. And while the site is down, fans can still go to the Instagram, the Facebook, the
Podbean,
or Twitter, or any of those sites for any news.
Right.
So that's great. It's our first new web design. You think
redesign,
redesign, yeah. Most places do that several times throughout the years, and Toy Lines has been around for how many years? So we started. We've been doing this for 9 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
2012.
Jeez. So all right. So yeah, we started out just writing, basic, writing, and then eventually got into podcasting. So 9 years. So holy, we got to do something next year.
It was, yeah.
10-year anniversary. I didn't realize that. I was going
through all our old stuff, our like articles and toy reviews. Yeah, it's been a ride.
I'm sure there's been a lot of improvement on certain things in the writing area. And there's some, hopefully, yeah.
I think some people are still bitter about one thing I did, but I'm not going to talk about it.
The other thing is we've had some, in those past 9 years, just in, writing, we had some pretty cool interviews.
Oh my God, amazing interviews.
Collectors and just things like that. And
Todd McFarlane, Randall Lobb, Rob Mccallum.
Yeah. Talking to people about their collections. We talked to the gentleman from Australia about his Batman collection. His 1989 specific Batman collection. That's what he collected of Batman, was the 89 stuff from 1989 when he was collecting.
Yeah.
And other stuff.
We did conventions.
Yeah.
And the secret lost Toy Fair video we did.
And I remember Thursdays with Thor. It was every Thursday for a while. I think before the movie came out, it was something of Thor. And that's when I went by my own name.
A certain Mr. Nostalgia?
Yeah, some character. We don't know. We don't know where he went. He was like working for us, and he just disappeared.
Pretty much.
But
I heard Rocketeer stole him. So.
Yeah, or that attic of the Bulldog Cafe. And Toy Fair past couple of years has been incredible. So it's that's pretty cool, actually. I did not realize it was 9 years.
Yeah.
It goes fast, man.
And some other house cleaning. If you are a Cops and Crooks collector, carded, completionist, doesn't have to outside the card. If you open them up, drop us an email. We have some info for you. Something we're working on that I want as many people to be a part of as possible. So email us at toyspodcast@gmail.com if you collected the Hasbro, Cops and Crooks, anything, the comics, the animation, if you have any cells. But specifically, we're aiming towards the figures right now. So email us toyspodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. So, Tom, while I was away under the weather, I had some time to watch a lot of TV. And I just wanted to say, when we first discussed this, when you brought it up about the Action Park documentary on HBO Max.
Yes.
What was it called again? Attraction Park or Action? The name of the documentary?
Action Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you tell somebody about it, it's like, oh my god, it's you don't believe it,
right?
When you actually, but you do, but you don't. But when you see it, and what I think was great about this documentary is that they had footage of the park of how crowded it was. They had these little cartoons in between. So when they were saying how a water ride, how crowded it was, they would show you the amount of people in tubes, or the rope swing that your father went on, like you said.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
This is like, we discussed it, and I was like, I didn't think I really need to see it because I'm from Jersey, and I know that you heard it. You need to see it to believe it. You have to watch this video. And like, I had two thoughts I said to you about this. One was like, if they just, so this was in the 80s, so if they just did like better, they really would have had a successful, safe park.
Oh yeah, it'd still be open today.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the other thing I thought of was, only in New Jersey could they get away with this, because I cannot think of any other state where things like this would be happening and nobody would be giving a rat's.
Yeah.
And there are other places.
Well, I still think the whole town was in on it for jobs.
Yeah. And there are other places in New Jersey. There's a Land of Make Believe. There's Wild West City, Six Flags. I'm sure there's a couple other we're not talking about, but I can't remember. But yeah, when I talked about people going in that looped
with the
slide,
teeth, and
they were saying they were coming out lacerated, and it was because of the teeth. So they actually had a little cartoon of people with scrapes on them. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, it is a great documentary. It's still on HBO Max. Tommy said you said you watched it like 2 more times already?
I did. It was really good.
It's just like one of those things, like you finish, you're like, wait, I got to see that. Is that for real? And you go back and watch it again. It is really interesting.
And another great documentary just launched her Kickstarter on April 6th, Faking Filmation by Rob Mccallum. It's not only the history of Filmation animation, but it's also the story of a young James Eatock that took 3 years of his life to create a fan animated show based on He-Man and Masters of the Universe with a action figure accurate faker. So they're doing great things right now. I believe one of their rewards is you remember those 3D Viewmasters?
I remember Viewmaster, but I never know they went 3D.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be 3D inside when you put the card in.
Even back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And that is one of their stretch goals right now. So I'm really excited for this. If you love cartoons, please head on over to Kickstarter. Just pick a tier. Just support these incredible gentlemen. I mean, every documentary by Rob is a hit, so you won't be disappointed.
Do they still make Viewmaster? Like, have you seen one in stores?
A few years ago, I saw it wasn't in a store; it was online.
Okay.
Because apparently this particular Viewmaster, one of the discs was the inside of Castle Grayskull.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a Masters of the Universe. I think it was during 2000X. It was a Masters of the Universe package, but it didn't look like the viewer that we had as kids.
So now, the film that this gentleman made about Faker He-Man, did he draw it all himself and animate it?
No, he had help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's just all.
But he did a lot of it. I guess during the transformation scene for He-Man, he did all the backgrounds, and he said that took like 6 months.
I can imagine.
Just to have those, like there, it looks like
Yeah.
a bunch of rocks in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it took him 6 months just to do that.
It's like 2D animation?
Yeah.
Wow. That's...
Yeah, it looks like an actual Filmation film.
Okay.
It's a great film. They're battling Universal right now. Right. Universal doesn't want him to release it in any capacity.
Wow.
So,
why don't they want that? You know?
Well, they probably think it's an IP infringement thing. So.
Sometimes
it's always legal.
Yeah, and you know, I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. You know, the actual film that the man made, but sometimes something could be so good that they're fighting that could actually help their license.
Yeah,
you know, that's one part to it.
I remember somebody mentioned that they used to make Star Wars fan fiction movies, and George Lucas found out about it.
Yeah, like Troops.
Right. I love Troops.
Right.
And George Lucas actually released all the audio, and he's like, "Here, guys, use it in part of your videos." So I thought that was pretty cool. And then once Mickey took over, Kathleen Kennedy put a kibosh on that.
Yeah. Kibosh. Yeah, you know, and here's the thing about fan films is that some of them are incredible.
Like Troops. I mean,
yeah, it's like
Tag and Bink.
Like Troops, and let's face it, Troops was done at a time really before I think home computer or filmmaking was really a thing compared to what it is today.
Right.
You know, but you know, they had the suits and they, you know, it was well written, it was funny. And there are ones today, you know, there's a great one. I think his name is Aaron Shoke or something like that. Probably mispronouncing his last name, but he did a great Batman one with the Joker.
The one with it looked like Year One, his suit and with the giant cape. Yeah.
And the guy, Doug Jones played the Riddler in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, what was it called? It was something Death. But he does a lot of great independent films. So yeah, there's a lot of great independent short, you know, fan films out there that are like sometimes better than the studio ones. I think the studios should be looking at YouTube right now.
Well, some are.
Some.
I mean, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it is, you know, film is only as good as your story. And I'm sorry, my dog's barking. Yeah, but it's good. It was good stuff. So yeah, dogs. What else we got going on?
So you've been a while for some time. So welcome back.
Thank you.
And
thank you. I'm happy to be back. It was very tiring, very boring.
So I was holding on to this piece of
yes
news because I know you were dying to talk about it. So what did you think about the new trailer? Ghostbusters 3.
So the first time I saw the trailer, I thought it was a joke. I didn't know that they actually officially released something. And then I saw it and I was like, I love it. Like, they reminded me, the little Stay Puffs, of Army of Darkness with the little ashes running around.
Yep. And they're biters.
Right. So like
I love the one that's on fire.
Yeah. And one's got a rocket. One's, I think, playing the drums.
Like in the trailer, they actually roast one of them.
Yes, and then they're like where like a Target, I guess they ran in there. They roast them over the barbecue.
Right.
Now, I know you said you were a little like iffy on them. They are cute, first off. So I don't know if that's why that's in there or not. But I don't know if like all Stay Puft products are going to be coming alive in the movie, which would be pretty crazy. But I mean, the things I've heard so far about the film is that it's sort of like a horror movie. I guess more like the first one.
Right.
I don't consider Ghostbusters a horror movie, but it had some scary jump scenes. I saw a few more pictures, which looks really great. And I know Jason Wright. I read it. Jason Reitman screened it for Ernie Hudson. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Snow. We were talking the other night on the phone about going back to the theaters and stuff like that. And this is the one movie I am really looking forward to. I think those guys are cool. I think it's great little commercial that with Paul Rudd, but for that,
right.
I think they could either be a big hit or they might not. But if they're a big hit, they're gonna just go with it. Give them their own show or something. But yeah, that was pretty cool to see. I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice. So let's get into some news. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff this week. So Neca just announced a pre-order of Ace Duck, and he has his wings,
which I think the black inking is throwing me off on him.
It might be prototype wings. It might actually look better.
Yeah,
I like the second head, the open bill.
Yeah. I wish they had the hat on them.
Yeah, just to see what it looks like.
Yeah, because it kind of looks odd without the hat, but I guess they wanted to show you that it's a removable accessory.
Yeah, and he also comes with Mutagen Man, $51.99, and it will be released this fall.
Go ahead.
If you're interested, get them as fast as they can. They're selling out quickly. And the window, they said it was a 10-day window, but as of this recording, I don't know the official time. So if you want it, get it right now.
Was Ace Duck in the original cartoon?
One episode.
Whoa, one episode. Okay. I really enjoyed what they did with him.
He was in the Playmates line.
Yes. I really liked what they did with him in the IDW series. He was in one of the storylines or something or other, and they made him, it was pretty cool what they did. And of course, Mutagen Man.
And then also on the NECA store is a second chance at your shot at the Rat King and Vernon, and Baxter Stockman and Splinter, the Triceraton Zorax and Zork. And also this little guy, Pizza Monster, from the animated show.
I don't remember him.
He comes with a little Pizza Monster, a pizza pie, I guess a tricorder of some sort.
Nintendo Game Boy, maybe?
Right. But his aesthetic can actually fit into any horror genre.
Just thinking along something like that.
Like with aliens?
Yes.
You can put him right next to
it looks like a xenomorph, his head. And if you paint this thing a different color, you got yourself a new alien for your custom figures.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's funny that you said that. I was just thinking, it really does look like aliens.
It does.
It's fun. That's pretty cool. There's teeth in that guy.
Yeah, so head on over to the NECA store and grab yourself some turtle goodies. But it doesn't end there, Ian.
No.
April O'Neil was back on the air.
What do you think?
Talking about her April O'Neil figure. So Judith Hoag continues her coverage of her actual movie-accurate action figure from NECA Toys, designed by Adrian Smith. Now, in this video, she also gives us a look at her articulation. Apparently, she's going to have double joints on the knees. They don't. I know a lot of people have been complaining about this, but they don't look bad.
No, not really.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a photographer or a stop motion animator and you want to do something with these, you're going to be grateful for that. If you just look at all the attention in the clothes, of the folds and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the painting is also digital.
I don't think
so. There's an actual pattern on her skirt that
wow.
you really don't see at the movie,
right?
But through the power of digital, you can also
go back to the So I don't know. I mean, look, even her pocketbook has wrinkles in it. So to point out the knee.
Scott also said he's wondering if the pocketbook is going to hold one of Raph's size.
That's a good question.
So that'd be interesting. That was a good point.
A really decent looking toy. I mean, it's incredible how far sculpting has come.
Yeah.
And everything. So this looks really nice.
But here is the great kicker. Nick is always teasing us with things. Look who's over here on the lower corner. A maskless Casey Jones.
And a great likeness
of actor Elias Codius.
Yeah, he's great. He was perfect for Casey Jones.
Yes, definitely.
If anybody stole that movie, it would be him. He was so great in it. And just throw this out there, 1980s film, Some Kind of Wonderful, with Eric Stoltz. He was in it. I remember catching that later on. I was like, that's Casey Jones. And he was great in that movie too.
Yeah. And then the second April head actually has a smile on her face. A lot of people
so the one right here, right?
Yes. Yeah, this one is her more serious,
Yeah. The smile looks
am I behind on my Sony payments face?
The smile definitely has a much more accurate look to her face.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
And
here's something we didn't mention. I was saving it for you too.
Oh wow!
Hamato Yoshi.
It's got the key. Is there a Splinter in there?
Yep. That cage? It's a little cage for Splinter.
I love the shadow of this picture. Is really nice. Just the lighting.
It's beautiful.
This is incredible.
Now this is for hardcore. I mean, if you love the 90s movie, I mean, you need this.
Yeah, this is really nice. I mean, just the detail. You're looking at his chest muscles, and you're like, it's just so real looking.
Now, I wonder if he's going to come with a 2-pack as well with Oroku Saki.
That'd be nice. A little scratch face, or an extra head with 3 scratches on his face.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
So over in the UK, Figureland has teased us with pictures of their Jumbo Series Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here's Leonardo. Now, here's something interesting. Not only are they 26 or 23.6 inches tall, but they come with soft goods.
I was thinking that, the wrist and part of the elbow pad,
the belt, all the elbow pads.
That's a nice touch, except for his mask, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this may be the closest we get to a 112 turtle.
These are really nice. These turtles.
Yeah.
Here's
Raph.
Yeah. Do they have pictures of Mikey and Donnie or no?
Not yet.
Not yet. These are really good. And then here's a thought. Just looking at this, in the comics in the old days, Mirage, they were sometimes drawn with a tail and sometimes without a tail.
Right.
Did you have a preference?
I didn't care.
And do you think the toy...
Although my Mondo figures have tails.
Okay. So how do you think that looks on the figure, the tail?
It doesn't bother me.
No, so if this one had one, you think go either way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Actually, here, why don't you talk about our next story? And
so these are nice.
Be back.
These are the Mezco 5 Points Godzilla. So box 1 is going to have Godzilla, Mothra. I'm going to mutilate this name. Anguirus, Rodan with an alternate heads. And this also comes with breath effects, web effects, and display bases. Box 2 is going to have King Ghidorah, Manila, or Godzuki, as we know him as, Gorosaurus, and Baragon. Different heads and legs for Baragon, 2 Manila heads and arms, effects gravity beam, and smoke with 4 display boxes, bases. Both boxes at $85 each. Godzuki or Manila, Manila Ice, Manila Vanilla. He looks great. I really like the way he looks. And he comes with extra arms and an extra head and a little puff of smoke.
Who's his mom?
You know what? I don't remember. I'm gonna say they never showed it. I had never saw it as a kid. So did they ever mention it?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Maybe our listeners, if they know, they'll write us. I never thought of that, to be honest with you. Maybe Godzilla does lay eggs. I mean, it did in that one terrible movie.
So here's my Mondo's turtle.
Okay.
This is Raphael. And then
tail.
There he is with the tail. Yep.
A little phallic, but
in Turtle Power, their documentary, they talk about how Playmates did not like the sculpted turtle with the tail.
I mean, yes, you can see the reasoning why.
Obviously. I mean,
yeah, it's, turtles have tails. Yes, on a toy, it looks a little phallic-like. So, he's a little angry over there at Raph, but it's, I don't think it takes away from the figure without it.
No, it's one of those aesthetic changes.
I think with it does catch your eye. You're like, whoa, put on some pants there, Raph. But I think, even the comics, I don't think they really do that anymore anyway. So,
right. And then Nickelodeon announced they're hiring actors for their Reboot series. And they're really focusing on the teenage aspect. They're hiring young kids, like 15 and 16. Yep.
Supposed to be the next animated series?
CG, yep.
Okay, CG. It's interesting that they're going for young teens. But then again, there are talented actors out there, or actresses. I mean, you look at Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. She's a very talented actress. How
old is she? She's too old now, right?
She's almost she's got to be almost 17, 19, 20. I don't know. It's just weird to think of that.
Maybe April.
The first show, they were so young, and to watch them grow up. Finn I believe he did the voice of Pugsley in that Addams Family movie that came out, I think, last year or 2 years ago.
Gotcha. So from DNA Toys, they released a picture of their 5th Battletoad, Rash, with his sunglasses, giant boot, and axe leg attachment.
All right, so I got to ask you this.
Okay.
Battletoad.
The video game.
Oh, okay. So that's what it's based off of?
Yeah.
And do you see where I'm going with this?
I don't.
Oh, so you got Battletoad and Cyberfrog. Which one was first?
Probably Battletoads. They came out in the 80s, right?
I don't know. I don't really know much about Battletoads. And I'm looking at him, and that's what I'm thinking of, was like Cyberfrog. I know it's not him, but I'm like, it reminds me, it kind of looks like him.
Blasphemy. But now that you mention it, Ethan Van Sciver from All Caps Comics got the paint masters for his Cyberfrog figure.
But you know what? Now that I look at him, I think they look nothing alike.
Right.
So that's just odd.
This is the 90s version that we're showing. Beautiful. I'm a Cyberfrog fan myself, especially in the 90s.
Is the coloring. So he's got the yellow chest and just like the spots on the side is really nice detail.
Right. And then the modern figure is a whole different one. Here's what it looks like modern. He's got like blue spikes on the side.
So I've never read this comic. What's the deal with him?
So Cyberfrog comes from, his mother is a spaceship. She basically comes from a different planet. She was supposed to infect a human, but she ended up infecting a frog. Hence, Cyberfrog. Now, here's what I love about the 90s Cyberfrog. He was just a complete wise ass. Everything out of his mouth was just hysterical. He used to have he would shoot out his tongue and leave a bomb inside you and then just release it. I mean, he loves chicken. He hangs out with a girl who is getting her own statue.
Oh.
Damn it. I just lost her name. Sorry, Ethan. It was a great shit. It was a great story. You know, Reservoir Frog.
That's great.
Yeah. It was a typical 90s. It was a typical 90s comic. I mean, it was great on everything. He recently relaunched Cyberfrog Comics through his Indiegogo all caps comics line.
Did they ever make a cartoon out of this?
No. But
was that? Go ahead.
Back in the 90s, he was the original getting ahead of myself. Playmates actually commissioned a Cyberfrog action figure because he was going to be part of that Ninja Turtles line that Jim Lee did, along with Savage Dragon.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yes, I remember seeing the pictures of those.
Right. And for some reason, they never completed the Cyberfrog figure.
Interesting. I'm surprised he hasn't had a cartoon.
Heather Swain, excuse me. Yeah, that was the girl. And Heather Swain is also getting a statue. So big things are coming out of Ethan Van Sciver and Cyberfrog. I'm really excited. I can't wait for this campaign to start.
You're a fan, so do you think a cartoon would work?
Oh, absolutely.
Like Netflix?
And he's always said, I remember an interview with him. He said that when he draws Cyberfrog, he thinks of Dennis Leary's voice.
Interesting. That's great, because now when I look at this, I can kind of picture Dennis Leary and hear that. That's very interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I prefer the 90s version. I know artists need to update and reboots and stuff, but
I think the new version looks cool.
His head looks too round.
Does it? Can you go back?
I think so. Yeah, see?
Yeah, but maybe it's because of the expression.
Possibly. Now, Ethan has also said he wants to mimic Todd McFarlane's Spawn Kickstarter figure. So we're going to have a modern Cyberfrog, classic 90s Cyberfrog, and then an artist-proof Cyberfrog with extra heads. And I know there's one of the modern heads has a stinger going right through his head, all bloody and stuff. Looks pretty cool.
So hang on a second. So here I see his actual toes.
Yes.
In the other picture,
all articulated.
Each toe is articulated?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gracious.
He sent it back to the factory.
Wow.
He's like, I wanted articulated toes.
Go back to the other picture for a moment. So this figure here.
This is Paint Master.
So the toes aren't painted green yet. Is that it? Or
no, they are.
Oh, maybe it's just because they're bent down. So, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't see that part. I just saw the silver. But very interesting. That's a lot of detail.
Yeah, especially the 90s one, because he actually gave him a lot of weapons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I know this will be a success. So far, every Cyberfrog crowdfunding has been a success, so I'm really looking forward to these figures. I really want to see them.
On that picture there, on the table, there's just like another head just sitting there.
Oh, yeah, well, he comes with multiple heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could
he comes with a grin. There's one with teeth. And then, like I said, the modern head has the stinger from a Vespis going right through him.
So is Cyberfrog the size of a human or a frog?
No, a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he hangs out with Heather Swain. She takes care of him, essentially. And then he has Salamandroid, which is his brother, who's an actual salamander.
But the ship
And
created,
he's
like,
huge.
so
Way bigger than...
who's his enemy?
Well, he's got a few from the 90s, but currently it's the Vespis. Apparently, it's kind of like one of those disaster type situations. Like the whole planet's been overrun by these bees,
Okay.
and it's up to Cyberfrog and his brother, and I guess Heather, her daughter, and Kelsin, their mother, to fix the planet
Okay.
that's been wrecked. So look to Indiegogo for all your Cyberfrog fun stuff, and I can't wait for this figure. Boss Fight Studios is continuing their Umbrella Academy figures. They just released an image of number 4, Klaus. Now these figures will be 4 inches, and the wave 1 so far has Vanya, Pietro? Diego, excuse me. I'm off it today. And number 1. So if you're a fan of the Umbrella Academy, which is a great show, by the way, although I do prefer season 1 than season 2, but that's my personal opinion. But these figures look great, and hopefully they'll be coming out soon.
We got Super 7, Star Trek.
The Next Generation.
Next Generation, yes. $18 per, coming out in mid-July. So was that Picard, Borg,
Worf,
thank you.
Wesley Crusher,
Data, and
Guinan.
Was that Whoopi Goldberg's character?
Yep.
Right? She was, how many seasons was she? 1, 2?
That's a great question.
She wasn't in the whole series. I remember,
No.
right?
She was in their first movie, Generations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then I think she was only on there for maybe 1 or 2 seasons.
These kind of remind me of the Star Trek Next Generation, that when the figures first came out, the first one they made.
From Playmates?
I think. I'm not sure. They were almost like a reaction figure size, like this, and like Data had like the phaser in his hand. And the reason why I say that is because my sister had them, and I remember, that's how I remember seeing them. So I'm not a Star Trek person, but I do, I think you might like Tom, and our buddy Rich did. That's how I know Star Trek, but I'm not much of a Trekkie, so to speak.
Gotcha. So these will be available in mid-July.
Right around the corner.
And then, speaking of Super 7, if you missed out on their pre-order for the Thunder Tank, don't worry. You still have plenty of options to get the tank. Excuse me. You can go on to Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and Sideshow Collectibles. Now, I know Sideshow Collectibles, you can actually get this vehicle in installments.
That's
Not
cool.
the vehicle itself, but you can pay for it.
Yeah. I like that idea. I think that's for the fan who wants it and can't get it all the money at once. I think that's a pretty cool option.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. This is not this is not cheap.
No.
This is, a nice sizable chunk of change.
Oh, sure.
So it is nice to have other options.
I think it's a great thing for even Hasbro Pulse to be doing, if they don't already.
Yeah, all these places should do something like that.
It'll probably help
sales,
and if somebody cannot make the rest of the payments, they therefore forfeit the toy, and somebody else can get it and make the payments from the beginning or whatever. But I do think it's a pretty decent thing they're doing.
Yeah, although sometimes it backfires.
Yeah.
What I've been told.
Oh, sure.
And speaking of stuff that's backfiring, so
Ramen toys.
Yeah, there's been kind of a controversy with these guys. So the Ramen Toys 80s Commander is essentially the Centurion figures from back when we were kids, from the 80s. So they include Ace McCloud, Max Ray, and Rockwell. Air, sea, and land.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Ramen Toys has developed these figures. They're not licensed, unfortunately. So anything can happen between now and when they ship in October. Now, the pre-order is open for $65 per figure until May 1st, and then they become $89.99. Now,
65
here's
per figure.
Yeah, here's the problem though.
One,
They
$65?
are what happened?
Let's say the $65 because that's a lot of money for each.
Well, here's the thing. They have great articulation. I mean, they're modern day Centurions. You know, they have the accessories and stuff, and they all look great. Problem is, Ramen Toys came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't really recognize the name.
Yeah, they've done some stuff in the past, but right now they're doing everything off their Facebook page, so that has some people on the caution side.
Yeah, it's like they gotta just take the money and run.
Exactly.
Yeah,
which has happened, especially on on all these crowdfunding things. Now this isn't crowdfunded, but they're unproven. They're brand new. People are a little wary of it, so just use caution. You can go on their Facebook page. You can pre-order them now. And
it's not to say that they are a scam, and it's not. But it's, yes,
I'm not saying that I'm
use
all.
Caution.
Just use caution, and
because anything can happen.
It works out right. Hopefully, it'll work out for the best.
I mean, they could have the best intentions, and the company just doesn't survive.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, even with Kickstarters, I've heard nightmare stories. Like they run out of money, even though they haven't fulfilled anything, and plastic is expensive. Yeah. Tooling. I mean, we've all heard the nightmare bills tooling comes with. So just use caution. Felix Scilla, who played Tweaky in Buck Rogers and was also the original Cousin It on the Addams Family, passed away on Friday from pancreatic cancer. He was also played the Ewok that was on the hang glider.
Now, do we have the picture from we were Buck Rogers? So I remember Buck Rogers as sort of watching it as a kid. We didn't watch it often. It's a very interesting looking robot though, because it looks like a kid. Like the face.
I think he was supposed to.
You know what it almost actually looks like?
But you know what's funny? Mel Blanc did his voice, and he sounded like an 80-year-old. Like, what's up, Buck?
I don't know. I did not know that about Mel Blanc. He looks like a Playmobil figure. His face.
Yeah.
Now, so this is Buck Rogers, correct?
Right.
Battlestar Galactica, was that it? We were talking about had that robotic monkey thing.
Yes.
And what was that called?
I have no idea.
Okay. But so we were discussing, I had read just recently that there was an actual monkey in the suit.
Right, for the first season.
For the first season, you said. And then
there was problems on the set, let's just say.
And the handler wasn't very good with animals.
Right.
And so in season 2, it was an actor.
Correct.
Right. I'm going to be honest with you. When I remember looking at the picture, and then when they said that they actually put a monkey in it, I was like, or a chimp or whatever, I was like, good Lord. I was like, I would freak out if I was in that thing, and yeah.
So rest in peace, Mr.
Yes, where many people. I want
Felix Scilla.
What other movies he was in? I'll have to look that up. Brought many people joy.
That's true. Yeah, he was a great actor. I mean, he always played Tweaky well.
Cousin It, I love Cousin It.
Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command, the animated series, can now be found on Amazon Prime.
This is the original?
Yes, next to Invincible.
I remember that show. I remember the theme song. That was my favorite part.
And now from Kickstarter. Now we mentioned Faking Filmation, but Mystery Science Theater 3000 is also on Kickstarter. They're bringing back brand new shows once they reach all their goals, which I'm sure they will. But yeah, Netflix dumped them pretty much.
That's interesting. I wonder if it's because, like, I wonder why. Like, it's such a cult following.
Yeah, but Netflix is weird.
Yeah, they'll get rid of things after one season.
Well, I think they
Sometimes.
they had 2 seasons actually. The Gauntlet was pretty good.
Like, there was a show I was watching, and I forget the name. I know Matthew Broderick was in it, and it was about like all the adults become zombies and the kids were not, and it ends on with like a cliffhanger, and they never finished. They canceled it. Of course, when the shows are successful, they seem to, Stranger Things, for instance. Then again, I mean, I don't know how long Sabrina lasted, but they got rid of that after a while too. So I don't know why they do that. If they don't want to drag it on too long, or
Yeah, it's that weird algorithm.
yeah.
But you can find Mystery Science Theater 3000 in their crowdfunding on Kickstarter.
You're a fan of that show, right?
I love that show.
Yeah.
I swear by it. Every Thanksgiving, that's what I would do. Powercon is coming to Anaheim this year, September 11th and 12th. Hotel reservations are now open. If you're going, book now. The block is going out fast.
Now, here's what's interesting. These guys did not back down. They were like, we're going to have our show, and they stuck it out. And, California is finally opening up, and things are getting good over there. And what a great sign for a convention to be held. Like, I think, are you going, Tom?
Definitely.
I think it's awesome. I miss going to conventions. I think good for them, good for you. I hope this kind of helps people start getting more conventions going, especially here in Jersey. And I just think it's so great that they just stuck it out, and we're just like, we're gonna do our show, and I'm sure they're gonna take every precaution while there as well. But I think it's great that conventions are coming back.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a good sign of things to come.
Is there anything right now about guests and things or anything?
No, it's too early.
Too early?
Yeah. I know they're working on their own action figure line for the show, so
kind of like an exclusive Powercon figure. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole new line of figures.
They've done that before?
No.
Oh, so it's brand new. Interesting.
So that wraps it up for this episode of Toy Lines. I want to give a special thanks to Brian Salvatore for our intro and outro music. Collectors helping collectors. It's a great hashtag on Twitter right now. If you're looking for something or if you want to sell something, let's beat the scalpers. Thank you to Scott Knightlick over at Spectre Creative. As you can tell, we're now on YouTube, so please ring that bell, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Tell 2 friends.
Join the conversation at toyspodcast@gmail.com. And again, if you're a Cops and Crooks collector, let us know. We're doing something. That's all I can tell you right now. We're on all of your favorite podcasting platforms, so please subscribe, give us a rating, or do both. Please enjoy our newest podcasts, Rocketeer Radio, hosted by Ian Westhoff.
Thank you, Tommy.
If you love The Rocketeer, this is it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's quite all right. Thank you, sir. We have a great episode coming up. Very special guests. This is Rocketeer royalty. Very thrilled about it, and thank you all for listening and following the Instagram page. I appreciate the comments and the likes, and thank you all. Rocketeer has a really great friendly fan base, and it's a great thing to be a part of. So thank you, and thank you, Tom, for that nice little thing. And, of course, for you, sir, people of Eternia,
What's that?
This is this great podcast by this silly little guy who likes He-Man, and he gets the background on He-Man and the people who worked on it. And
What?
It
sounds weird.
It's something that is going to take the world by storm.
You don't want to hear that. That's weird. Well, this isn't normally a time where I plug our website, but it's down at the moment, so we will be back soon with more toy reviews.
So website. We'll still be here.
Yeah.
Doing this on YouTube. So if that bothers you, good for those who like it, and I'm sorry for those who don't.
But I do want to give out a special thanks to everyone that has been subscribing to us.
Thank
you.
I
know lately it's been weird, but we'll get back on track eventually. So I'm Tom Romero.
I am Ian Westhoff.
Play with your toys.